Hello, Snakes. My name is Dante, and today it's Podcast Tuesday once again. And well, we're actually streaming this. I mean, 2 days ago we had the finals of Spotlight series in Utrecht, and it was modern, and Orzhov actually beat um what was it again? Breach. So so this So today we're gonna talk about this Orzhov deck because it seems really cool. I like. I saw how the deck works and it looked really cool. So let's just talk about Orzhov Blink. This time we got no more. No, we got today. We got no combo or non-bow because the podcast is actually kind of long. I mean, we got main deck and the sideboard and a bunch of stuff. Because this deck is actually very interesting. I mean, it combines both the exile theme with, you know, all the other, you know, I mean, there's themes, exiling, and like exile, blink, flicker. It's just a lot of stuff. So, yeah. Let's start off with the main board. Alright? We got the God card. So the first is, so we got Ketramos. This card interacts with, this card interacts with all the exiles. I mean, it's 3 mana 4/4 legendary God with menace, lifelink, indestructible. Can't attack or block unless there are 7 or more cards in exile. And whenever 1 or more cards hit exile from the graveyard or from the battlefield during your turn, not during your opponent's turn, you draw a card and lose life. So this counts. Blinking, flickering, exiling from graveyards. That's basically how it works. The issue is it doesn't count those that enter exile from the library. So you got ingest, that does not work. So yeah. So yeah. So yeah, that's basically the main card of the deck. It counts both your exiles and the opponent's exiles. So you exile cards from the opponent, and it works as well. It's an interesting card. I like it. So 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 yeah. That's basically the card. So let's start off with some common graveyard recursion in the deck. So Overlord of the Baelmerg is a 5 mana 5/5 enchantment creature avatar horror. And you can impend it for 5 turns for 2 mana. So basically you can cast it for 2 mana, except it's not a creature until 5 end steps have passed. And when it enters or attacks, you have to mill 4 and bring back a non-avatar creature or a planeswalker from your graveyard to hand. So this helps fill up your graveyard, get stuff back, and just use them. Sadly, you cannot get an Overlord back with an Overlord. That would be too unfair. However, there's 4 copies of this, and 3 copies of Emperor of Bones. Emperor of Bones works both as Graveyard Haste that exiles cards from graveyards, and also as Graveyard Recursion, as it can take a creature from there, and once it gets +1/+1 counters on it, bring back one of those creatures, which usually just happens once, because adapt only works if it doesn't have counters. So on combat you can exile a creature from a graveyard, yours or an opponent's creature, and you trigger Ketramos by exiling it, and then because you exile from a graveyard on your turn, then you adapt, bring it back, gain haste, so you can attack with it, and it has a finality counter. So when you sacrifice it on your end step, it gets exiled. So this would trigger Ketramos again, as it hits exile from the battlefield. I mean, you could also do this on your own creatures, and then blink them or flicker them, so they stay around forever. That's where our flicker comes in. Flicker Wisp, 3 mana, 3/1 elemental flying, and when it enters, flicker another permanent. Felia, 4 copies on it. 2 mana, 2/2 legendary dog. Flash, whenever attacks, flicker another non-land permanent. And if it came back on your side, it gets a +1/+1 counter on it. So it encourages you to flicker your own permanents rather than just flickering the opponent's stuff. So that's basically the main point of this card. So Felia is meant for you to flicker the opponent's your own stuff, but it can as well flicker away, tokens, and of course that triggers Ketramos. So that's basically our flickering. Now this card is kind of a non-bow in a sense to this deck, because Dalfi Voidwalker is a 2 mana free for Dalfi Rogue. You only have 1 copy in the main board. It has Shadow. And if a card hits an opponent's graveyard friend, so basically it's a Leyline of the Void. So it's a 2 mana free 2 Dalfi Rogue, Shadow, Leyline of the Void effect. And you can tap to sacrifice a Dalfi Voidwalker and play one of the voided cards for free. So the issue is this card will stop the opponent's cards from hitting the graveyard. I mean, to be fair, it isn't much of a non-bow, because creatures that die instead get exiled. So all the permanents that would die, on the battlefield, they would get exiled and would trigger Ketramos. But mail and other stuff, or discarding, because that would not trigger, because they would go to exile straight away, because for hand to exile, deck to exile does not trigger Ketramos. It's only for graveyard or battlefield. However, Dalfi can pop itself. You can sacrifice the Dalfi Voidwalker to cast something that was exiled there. So you can steal one of your opponent's big creatures, a removal, maybe even a land if you're stuck on mana. But it's actually a very good card. It has its pros and cons in this deck, but that's why you only see one. Let's go to our removal. This deck has a bunch of removal that will work in both protecting you and also attacking, as 4 of those removals are Solitudes, a 5 mana free 2 elemental incarnation with flash, lifelink. When it ETBs, exile target creature, and so it's a Swords to Plowshares on a 5 mana free 2 with flash. I mean you can cast it for free by exiling a white card from your hand. Except the issue is it's gonna get sacrificed as soon as it enters. The good thing is you can blink it. You can blink it, flicker it. That's the whole. Not all of the flicker cards, but you can blink it with other cards in the deck, which I will show. Wait, did I? Oh my god, did I forget it? Hold on. There is. I think I forgot one card. One of the most important cards. And alright, it's So yeah, Orzhov I mean, March of Old Light is an exile removal that hits artifacts, creatures, and enchantments. The issues, with Solitude, March of Old Light, is that the cards you exile from the hand will not trigger Ketramos. Still, Ketramos only triggers once, no matter how many cards you exile in one sweep. So yeah, that's basically. So yeah, that's one thing you just have to notice. But Fatal Push is also a good removal, as fetches and others. You can basically kill almost any creature in this format. So yeah, I'll just show you what card it's also in there, which I forgot to mention, but yeah. Alright, so this is our Blink card. This is Ephemerate. We got 3 of those, a 1 mana instant that basically blinks one of your creatures and has Rebound. So that's how you can keep, there's a. The issue is it doesn't blink Flicker Wisp in Felia can flicker an impended Overlord, so it goes to the battlefield straight away without bypassing the impending cost, and also refreshes Emperor of Bones. But Ephemerate is instant speed, which allows you to blink the Solitude in response to the evoke trigger, allowing you to keep Solitude on the battlefield and exile another creature on that, triggering Ketramos 3 times. 1 for the first Swords to Flashers from Solitude, 1 from blinking the Solitude, and 1 from the third ETB. And the issue is that, so the Rebound, it exiles it from the stack, not from the graveyard. So stack also does not trigger Ketramos, which is bad, which is sad. But the Rebound lets you cast it again, so you can blink another creature and trigger Ketramos, and yeah, it's just insane. I mean, the amount of card advantage you can get from this deck just with Ketramos is insane, because there's a lot of cards that exile from the battlefield. I mean, from the battlefield, from the graveyard. I mean, let's look at this. 3 Thought Seizes. That's even better card advantage. As for 1 mana, you can see the opponent's hand, take a card from it, and they have to discard it. Except for a land. You can't discard lands with Thought Seize. But you do lose 2 life though. So be careful when you play this, as in the late game, it kind of gets useless. So yeah. So yeah, that's basically. So yeah, that's basically the. That's basically the night card. So that's basically. Let's go to our exile graveyard. So we've seen a lot of exile from the battlefield, but what exiles from the graveyard? Well, we got Relic of Progenitus, a 1 mana artifact You have 3 copies of it. You get to tap it to make a player exile card from your graveyard. Which so each turn. So this is basically a Fire Tin Arena with Ketramos is basically a Fire Tin Arena that can be activated at will. And for 1 mana, you can pop all the graveyards and exile the relic. So and draw a card. So this triggers Ketramos twice plus the card draw from relic. That's 3 cards you're drawing, because you get 1 for exiling relic, 1 for exiling all cards from graveyards, and then the default card you get from popping the relic. So yeah, that's basically the card. I mean, let's go to our lands, which there are some lands that are quite interesting. We got 4 fetches of, of each. 4 Marsh Flats and 4 Windswept Heath. So, Windswept Heath to get the white, and Marsh Flats for both colors. Sadly, there is no, like, swamp fetch land in this deck. It's just maybe because the white is more significant. I don't know. I mean, you have 4 Windswept Heath and 4 Marsh Flats. I did not build this deck. This is the one that won the Spotlight series in Utrecht. Like, all I know of this deck is just it's one match I saw, like the finals. I literally watched the finals on Sunday, and I mean, it was cool. I mean, I honestly wanted Baku to win, who's the one who's playing. It was Breach, but well, this deck won. I mean. And there was a Hollow 1 in the top 4 as well, which was cool. Which means Hollow 1 might actually become a staple in Modern. Because after the Standard season, we're getting Modern season again. I mean, next month, it's already going to be Modern season. And I mean, after Bologna, it's going to be Modern season. That's what I'm saying. Anyways, let's get into our bolt lands. We got 3 of the Witch Enchanter and 2 Boggart Trawler. Boggart Trawler being Bazooka Bog on the creature. I mean, 3 mana, 3/1 goblin that enters exile target player's graveyard, or it's a black bolt land. This triggers also this is also graveyard exiling, similar to Relic of Progenitus. And of course, you have Bog, if you need a land. Same with Witch Enchanter. Witch Enchanter being a main board artifact / enchantment removal. And it's it's a white, bolt land. So you can destroy artifacts or enchantments, or use it as a land if you need it. It's cool. Honestly, I'd play more Boggart Trawlers over Witch Enchanters, but still, I mean, this is cool, and I like it. So yeah, that's basically our bolt lands. Now we got our dual lands. So Bleachbone Verge is the only one you have 1 copy of, but the rest are 2 copies. You have 2 Shadowy Backstreets, our Surveil lands, 2 Godless Shrines, our Shock lands, and 2 Concealed Courtyards, our Fast lands. Bleachbone Verge being the Orzhov Verge land for now. I mean, hopefully they actually end up adding reverse Verge lands, so as in the ones that add the opposite color, but still, it is cool. I mean, it adds black, unless if you have, Plains or Swamp, and it adds both colors. So it's really cool. I mean, honestly, this Lion Cycle is kind of underrated. And last but not least, we got, the basic lands. So we got our 2 basic plains and 1 basic swamp. Very simple, and yeah, it's nothing too special. So So yeah, that's basically our main board. Let's head to the sideboard. So this is our sideboard. We have our first up, Land Destruction. 3 white Orchid Phantoms for 2 mana 2/2. It's a Spirit Knight that has flying first strike. And when it enters, destroy up to 1 non-basic land. And its controller may search for a basic land, put on the battlefield tapped, and shuffle. So this basically replaces an opponent's non-basic land with a basic land. So it's quite cool, and I like it. It's a nice card. So yeah, that's basically our Land Destruction. Because there's a lot of Titan decks and similar decks. I mean, destroying the lands isn't that bad of an idea. I mean Tron decks also. I mean, this really affects Tron more than Titan, because most Titan builds nowadays use the Analyst and Lumra, which bring back the lands from the graveyard. Plus, there's this Vesuva, but for graveyard, I mean, there's this Cave Vesuva. I don't know I forgot its name, but you know what card I'm talking about, right? I mean, it's a card similar to Vesuva, and it's a nice card. But we got our board waves. Wrath of the Skies. Ed's and double white sorcery. You get Ed's energy. Then you may pay any amount of energy. Destroy each artifact, creature, and enchantment with MV less than or equal to the amount of energy paid this way. This is a really powerful board wipe, as it does kill both artifacts and enchantments, not just creatures. So it's a very powerful card. So I mean, there's a bunch of decks where you might need this. I mean, if we go to MTG Goldfish, so if we go to the modern decks, like let me just see. So right now, we're past 7 days. Boros Energy is on top for some reason, followed by Eldrazi Ram. Temple Breach. It does blow up all the artifacts though. There's a Temple Breach, Grinding Stations basically. Wait, what? Wait, why is Temple Breach and Grinding Station listed as different decks? They're the same, no? I mean, they're literally the same deck, right? I mean, what? I'm confused. So, actually, if you add up Grinding Station and Temple Breach, it is more popular than Eldrazi Ram, but it still falls below Boros Energy somehow. But Boros Energy has a lot of creatures. And you got Esper Murktide as well. That's also quite strong. And Affinity. Yeah, really powerful card. I understand why there's 5 of them in there. So yeah, that's basically the card. So yeah, let's go to our removals. We got more removals in the sideboard, 2 of which exile, triggering Ketramos. For Celestial Purge, exiling target black or red permanent for 2 mana instant. Exercise, exiling an artifact, creature, or enchantment. Artifact, enchantment, or creature power 4 or greater for 2 mana at sorcery speed, sadly. Not like Celestial Purge, which is instant speed. Vindicate does destroy any permanent, even lands. That's crazy. And we got the Ray of Enfeeblement, which gives the creature plus -4/-1 until turn, and if it's white, it's -4/-4 until turn. So it usually like weakens the creature, but it does like but it does also but also kill white creatures or small creatures in general. I mean, it's also good. So yeah, that's basically our removals. We got 4 of them, so 1 of each. And we got our stats. Like, we got Stony Silence as a 1 of each. Stony Silence that stops artifacts from being activated, which it does stop your Relic of Progenitus, but that's not your main issue. Thalia makes the non-creatures cost 1 more, which is good to have. Draft Magistrate stops all spells from being cast outside the hand, so it shuts down Breach, shuts down and shuts down other stuff like it also shuts down casting stuff from exile. I mean, it shuts down. So it shuts down, not only does it shut down Breach, but also shuts down the Ruby Storm. Elishnorn doubling the ETB triggers and stopping your opponent's ETB triggers. So Flicker Wisp can flicker 2 permanents. Could even like, wait, hold on. Oh, another. No. So you get extra triggers of Catcher Modes from Overlord triggering twice when it enters. That's crazy. Whoops. And yeah. And of course, White Orchid Phantom. That can destroy 2 lands. Deafening Sign, stopping players from casting more than one non-creature each turn, so it stops Storm decks and Breach decks as well. Yeah, same functionality as Thalia, but better. And yeah, it's honestly a really cool deck. That's our sideboard. We still got 1 last card. Aven Interrupter. White counterspell. Yep, 3 mana, 2/2. Bird Rogue. Flash flying. When it enters, exile target spell. And it becomes plotted. However, Aven Interrupter makes spells from graveyards and from exile cost 2 more to cast. So recasting the spell from the plot will cost 2 more. And also, it also slows down Breach decks and Ruby decks as well. Combine that with Thalia, and that's like free. Combine that with Dragon Magistrate, and your opponent is never gonna see that spell again. Well, unless if they kill Dragon Magistrate first. But yeah, that's basically it's really cool. I mean, it also bypasses uncounterable stuff, as it doesn't counter, and it simply just exiles the card. It's a really cool card. I mean, it's a counter in white that bypasses uncounterable stuff. What more could he ask for? Anyways, congratulations! You have reached the end of the podcast. So why don't you follow, subscribe to my YouTube channel, share friends, stay tuned to my next videos, streams, and podcasts. Podcasts will be live on Twitch every Tuesday, 4:30 GMT. So stay tuned to them. Watch my other videos too. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Tomorrow, 900 subscribers celebration stream. So please don't miss it out. I'll be playing Magic Puzzle Quest. So yeah, tomorrow I'll probably be streaming. So yeah. But anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And bye.